Imagine that. You're hanging out with your friends and accidentally one of them asks you, "Can you beat this guy? He's my friend, but I think he's not your level." And finally you meet up with him and you realize that he's really strong and you don't even have the plan. You're just mindlessly trying to pull to the side and you see that you're being outplayed in a second. And actually, there are some cute girls looking at all this stuff and you can think like, yeah, that's not a thing, that's nothing, but what are you gonna do at the championships? Will you lose the same way, just not knowing your plan, not knowing your technique? But that's the shit I've been through, and let's look at these steps to really choose and improve your style at arm wrestling.
I guess you've already been pulling with your friends at school or somewhere else, and you can feel that these guys are just mindlessly pulling, maybe traumatizing each other, not knowing what are they doing. To really master our style, we really need to thoughtfully choose the one. Obviously, I recommend you look at these things. First, of course, is comfortability and preference. What are you comfortable and fine about? Maybe you don't really want, go inside and waiting for your opponent to guess out. I really want this aggressive top roll. And the next important thing is anthropometry. Actually, I've talked about it a lot in this video, but in short, long guys with long levers are preferable for top roll, and short guys with short levers are for hook and shoulder press. It's a really good sign to think about. Just a little hint, because you can easily top roll with such long levers and hook, vice versa, but I really have chosen one with anthropometry sign because I'm really tall guy. And when we chose our technique, it's time to train it and go to the gym with my gym guide for arm wrestlers. Here comes the second step: prioritize your technique at the gym. Recently, I watched video Voice of Arm Wrestling. It's Coach Ray, a very popular arm wrestler, and he talks about prioritizing your technique at your training sessions. So here comes the rule 80-20, as I've put it to myself. I do 80 or 70% of top roll training because it's my main technique, and 30% for hook. I don't use shoulder press at all. Now I give 30% for my hook. So that's how I progressively overload my top roll and just give a little bit to my hook to not completely forget it and be a little bit better in it. What we need to do is a lot of pronations, risings if your main technique is top roll, and do a lot of supinations, holdings, side bicep curls if you're a hooker. And sparrings are a really important part of our trainings, so you can pull with every different guys at the gym. And what we need here is to really practice our technique. So defensive top roll, you try to hold your opponent here and crack his wrist back, or you want to improve your endurance in hook, and you will stay here as long as you can. That's the half of the progress of arm wrestling, really practicing and pulling with guys. And here comes the next step: always ask for advice. As we all know, progress is an endless thing, and that's why entrepreneur that's been in this space for 1 year asks for advice from entrepreneur that's been here 5 years, and entrepreneur that's been 5 years asks for 10-year entrepreneur, and that is an endless cycle that we also need in arm wrestling. So we've been pulling half of a year. You see that at your gym there are really strong and big guys that have been pulling a lot. You can really ask for advice, and they will give a really helpful feedback that will benefit you a lot. When we have strong, passionate sparrings, we'll, time to time ask them for advice, as if you're a stupid guy that knows 1% of arm wrestling. You will know a lot from these guys. And actually be free and open to really ask some very good questions, because this is the big part of progress. If you will be asking advice every single training session, you will be unstoppable some years later, as you will see. We've been focusing a lot in training on our one technique. We've gained some strength. If there are some championships available in your country, I recommend you sign up immediately and see how you progress, because that's the really good sign or thing to look at if you gained muscle or if you gained strength or not. I myself really sick going to some tournaments because tomorrow I have my tournament. I am under 75 kg and I really want to see have I progressed or not, and that's what we need to you. And I recommend you pulling in one style, your main style. Actually, if you have put 30% of effort to the second style, we actually don't want to pull in this style at the tournament. It's a really serious place, and if opponent is uncomfortable for you, if he has even longer levers, if you're top roller, just never mind it and go for it, as I'm gonna do tomorrow. Pull with only one technique at the tournaments and you will see whether you progressed or not. If you look at Levan Saginashvili in his youth, you can't even see in him the strongest arm wrestler in the world. And what has he been doing? He's been really training and focusing a lot on his top roll, on his trainings. He's been dedicated to this sport, and that's where he is now. He is where he deserves to be. And that's the message I want to tell. That's if you stick to one thing and you will do it relentlessly, day by day, you will unstoppably see the result that some years later that you're at the top of this sport or at the other space that you're practicing. And really, you will see benefits coming to you if you just go and go, not looking right or left. If you're interested in my gym guide, then check it out here. And remember, you don't have to feel comfortable about it, just keep going.